Hello students, here in this video we are going to discuss about the power flow solution using Gauss-Seidel method, and here we are going to simulate using the Scilab by Dr. D. Silas Stephen. Now let's see what is power flow problem. The power flow problem is a problem in which we have to determine a state vector which consists of voltages of all the buses and angles of all the buses with the line impedance and half charging admittances and the power injection at each bus. Now, by knowing the state vector x, which comprises of voltages and angle at all the buses, the slack bus power, power flow and power loss in the transmission line can be determined. Power flow equation. The power flow equations are the PI and QI equation, that is, each bus of the power system has a real power equation and a reactive power equation. Now, by solving this particular real power and reactive power equation, we will be able to determine the power flow solution. The power flow solutions are nonlinear equations, so these power flow equations cannot be solved by direct method. So a numerical technique or a method is required. Now if you have some n number of buses, then there will be 2n number of power flow equations. Now by using the 2n number of power flow equations, 2n number of variables can be known. So for each bus, the voltage magnitude and the angle can be determined by solving the power flow equations. The numerical methods which are used for solving the power flow equations are Gauss-Seidel method, Newton-Raphson method and Fast-Decoupled load flow method. Here we are going to discuss about the Gauss-Seidel load flow method by a flowchart. Initially, we start the algorithm. The first step is we have to read the transmission line data, bus data, transformer data and the shunt element data. Now, by using the transmission line data, transformer data and the shunt element data form the admittance matrix. The second step in the Gauss-Seidel load flow method is the initialization, in which you have to initialize the voltages of the generator bus, slack bus and the load bus. So for generator bus, the initialized voltage is the specified voltage. Similarly for the slack bus, it's specified voltage, and similarly for load bus, it is 1 plus J0. Now set the bus count as 1 for the first bus you are considering. You check whether the first bus is a slack bus or not. Now if the first bus is a slack bus, the voltage has to be maintained or retained as such in the initialization. Similarly, if the bus is not a slack bus, then you check whether the bus is a generator bus. Now, if the bus is not a generator bus, then the bus should be a load bus. So, you can directly determine the voltage of the particular load bus by using the voltage equation. Similarly, if the particular bus is not a generator bus, you have to calculate the reactive power by using this equation. Now, after determining the equation for the generator bus, the reactive power limits will be provided. So, you check for the limit violation. First, initially you check whether your reactive power is less than the QI minimum. So if it is less than the QI minimum, you set the value to be as the minimum value and you determine the voltage by using the voltage equation. Similarly, if it is not so, you check whether the reactive power is greater than the reactive power max, Q max. So if it is greater than, you set the reactive power to be as the maximum reactive power and then you treat the bus to be as a load bus and you calculate the voltage by using the voltage equation. Similarly, if the particular reactive power is within the limit, then you can treat the bus to be as a generator bus. In this case, you can set Vi k plus 1 is equal to Vi and a specified angle delta I k plus 1. Now here we have determined the voltages of the buses. Now you consider 2 points. I have set a red color point, that is the outer loop of this particular algorithm. Similarly, a green dot which refers to the inner loop of this particular algorithm. Now by using this equation, we have determined the voltages. Now you calculate the change in voltage from the calculated value from the voltage equation and the initialized voltage. Now you set the voltage at the present iteration is equal to the previous iteration value. Then you increase the bus number. After increasing the bus number, you check whether you have reached the maximum number of buses. Now if you have not reached the maximum number, again we have to go to the inner loop point and again you have to check whether the bus is a slack bus or not. If it is not so, you have to check for generator bus. If it is not a generator bus, you have to determine the voltage and you have to come to this point again. Similarly, if the particular bus is not a load bus and if it's a generator bus, you have to go with the other method. You have to check with the reactive power limits and then you have to determine the voltage and then you have to come to. Similarly, it has to be proceeded for all the buses. Then after determining the voltages at all the buses, you calculate the deviation in voltage maximum value delta Vmax. Now if the particular delta Vmax is less than epsilon, so normally this epsilon value is said to be 0.0001, then you can stop the iterative process and you can evaluate the line flows, slack bus power as well as the losses, and you can end with the method. Similarly, if the particular condition is not being satisfied, that is your delta Vmax value is not less than epsilon, you have to increase the iteration number and you have to go to the outer loop point. Similarly, until the condition delta Vmax is less than epsilon is being satisfied, the loop has to be run, and after the condition is being satisfied, you have to evaluate the line flow, slack bus power, loss and losses, and you have to stop with the process. So this is your Gauss-Seidel method. Now let us solve a problem for a Gauss-Seidel method. Here we are going to solve only one iteration. Here when you look into this particular problem, here the line data is given and the bus data is being provided. Now when you consider the line data or the line admittances, that is bus code is provided, which means the starting bus and ending bus, and the admittance of the particular bus is provided. Similarly, in the bus data, you have been provided with the bus code 1, 2, 3, 4, and here P, Q and voltage magnitude values are being provided. When you consider the bus 1, here they have provided with voltage angle, so that particular bus is a slack bus. Now in this case, the remaining buses 2, 3 and 4 are provided with the real power as well as the reactive power, so the bus is a load bus. Now for solving the problem, the first step is we have to form the admittance matrix. So for forming the bus admittance matrix, first step is you have to draw the single line diagram by considering the transmission line data. Here it is line admittances data. First bus code is 1, 2, 2. So here we have 4 bus system. First data is between first bus and the second bus. Here transmission line is there. Here they have provided with the admittance 2 minus J8. Next second one is across first bus and the third bus 1 minus J4. Third data is across 2 and 3 0.666 minus J 2.664. Then the fourth data is across second bus and fourth bus 1 minus J4. And the last data is across third bus and the fourth bus 2 minus J8. So now we have drawn the single line diagram. Now from the single line diagram, by using the two rule method, you will be able to determine the admittance matrix directly. So here the data which is being given is an admittance, so there is no need to take the inverse as we did in the last video. Now here we can add it as such so that we can form the admittance matrix. Now here, so this is the admittance matrix. So now here we have 4 buses. So the admittance matrix is a 4 cross 4 matrix. Now when you consider the diagonal elements, it is being obtained by adding the element connected to a particular bus. For example, when you consider y11, so it is the summation of 1 minus j4 and 2 minus j8. Similarly, all the diagonal elements are formed by adding the elements that are connected to the particular bus. Similarly, when you consider the off diagonal elements of this particular admittance matrix, they are determined by the negative sum of the elements connected across the buses. For example, when you consider y12 element of the particular admittance matrix, it is minus of 2 minus j8. So it is minus 2 plus j8. So this is how we have formed the admittance matrix for the 4 cross 4 system. Now the first step is over. We have formed the admittance matrix. The second step is we have to go for the initialization. Now the first bus, as we know that it is a slack bus, so V1 naught so is equal to 1.06, that is the specified voltage. So here V1 naught in one, here 1 refers to the first bus and over 0 refers to the iteration number. Similarly, the third bus, fourth bus or the load buses, so the values are initialized to be as 1 plus j0. So here in the initialization process, if the bus is a slack bus or else it's a generator bus, the voltage, initialized voltage is your specified voltage. Similarly, if the particular bus is a load bus, then the initialized voltage will be 1 plus j0. So first step is we have formed the admittance matrix. Second, we have done the initialization. Then we have to move on to the iteration 1. Now here the first iteration, first bus I am considering. So V11 so is equal to 1.06 plus j0. Here as this particular bus is a slack bus, the voltage will remain same all through the iterations. So now this is the equation by which we have to determine the voltage. VIK plus 1 is equal to 1 divided by YII PI minus JQI divided by VIK conjugate minus summation of Q is equal to 1 to I minus 1 YIK VQ K plus 1 minus summation of Q is equal to I plus 1 to N YIQ VQ K. Now here I am going to determine the voltage for the second bus. So here second bus voltage is V21 in the first iteration. So here 2 refers to the bus number, that is I is equal to 2, and I1 refers to the present iteration K plus 1. So here as K plus 1 is equal to 1, K will be equal to 0. Now I have to substitute I is equal to 2 and K is equal to 0 in the voltage equation. So now the equation will be V21 is equal to 1 by YII, so Y22 of PI, so P2 minus JQI, so Q2 divided by V2 naught conjugate minus summation of Q is equal to 1 to 2 minus 1 I minus, because it is I minus 1 over there, Y2Q VQ K plus 1 is equal to 1 minus summation of Q is equal to 2 plus 1 to 4. 4 refers to the number of buses N. Y2Q VQ naught, because K is equal to 0. Now I expand the summation. Then we have to substitute the values. Instead of Y22, I have substituted the value of Y22 from the admittance matrix. Similarly, P2 value they have given to be as the real power of the second bus, that is 0.5. But as it is a load bus, I have to substitute as minus 0.5. Similarly, Q2 value is the reactive power of the second bus, which is being given as 0.2. But while substituting, as it is a load bus, has to be substituted as minus 0.2. Now V2 naught is the initialized voltage, which is 1 plus J0. So we have to take the conjugate of it. So 1 minus J0. Next, Y21 is the value from the admittance matrix. Y21 minus 2 plus J8. Similarly, V11 is the initialized value 1.06 minus Y23 taken from the admittance matrix. Y30 is the initialized voltage of the third bus 1. Similarly, minus Y24 is the admittance matrix value of Y24, and similarly Y40 is equal to 1.0. So all the values are being substituted. By keeping the calculator in complex mode, you can directly determine the value for V21. Now this particular V21 is the voltage value of the second bus at the first iteration. Now here, in order to improve the convergence, there is one factor in the Gauss-Seidel method that is called to be as the alpha. So here, if you want, here in this problem, the alpha is considered to be as 1.6. So VA accelerated k plus 1 is equal to VAK plus alpha VAK plus 1 minus VAK. So by which you can increase the value of the voltage, or else you can accelerate the convergence. Now here for the second bus, in the same equation, I am substituting I is equal to 2 and K is equal to 0, alpha is equal to 1.6. V21 I substitute the value which we have determined earlier. V2 naught is the initialized value 1. By substituting, we get the value for V2 accelerated. Now we have determined the voltage of the second bus. Now this next step is we have to determine the same way for the third bus and the fourth bus. Okay, so for determining the voltage for the third bus and the fourth bus, in case of the third bus, in the voltage equation you have to substitute I is equal to 3 and K is equal to 0. Similarly, for determine the voltage for the fourth bus, in the voltage equation, you have to substitute I is equal to 4 and K is equal to 0, by which you will be able to get the voltages of the third bus as well as the fourth bus in the same manner as we determined for the second bus. Now, let us go on for the coding. Now, we have learned what is the Gauss-Seidel method and how to solve the problem. Now, here we are going to write the program for the problem which is solved. That is only for a single iteration we are going to write the code. First, NB is equal to 4. Number of buses is equal to 4. Number of lines is equal to 5 from the data we have taken. Alpha is considered to be as 1.6. So, alpha is equal to 1.6. Line number is obtained as a column vector as 1 semicolon, 2 semicolon, 3 semicolon, 4 semicolon, 5. Then the starting bus is also formed as a column vector, that is 1 semicolon, 1 semicolon, 2 semicolon, 2 semicolon, 3. Then the ending bus is also obtained as a column vector, 2 semicolon, 3 semicolon, 3 semicolon, 4 semicolon, 4. Then here we are substituting the admittance values. So they are the complex values. So the code complex of 2 comma minus 8, complex of 1 comma minus 4, complex of 0.66 minus 0.664, complex of 1 minus 4, complex of 2 comma minus 8. So we have formed the admittance value as a column vector. Then we are substituting the value of P. So the first bus, the P value is not being provided, just I substitute as 0 semicolon. Second bus, the value is given as 0.5, but as it is a load bus, so when you substitute the value, we will be substituting as minus P2. So I just write it as minus 0.5. Second bus as such minus 0.4, minus 0.3. Similarly Q 0, minus 0.2, minus 0.3, minus 1. Now in order to form the admittance matrix, initially I am forming a dummy matrix of the size NB, NB with all the elements as 0. Here the same procedure as we did for the formation of admittance matrix is followed to form the admittance matrix. Then after forming the admittance matrix, we have to determine the voltage, for which we have to consider the voltage equation. Now this is the voltage equation we have. Now this has to be considered for determining it. So now for determining it, now initially we have to go for the initialization process. So I do the initialization at the same step. V is equal to 1.06. As it's a slack bus, I am writing specified voltage. Remaining all the 3 buses or the load buses. So I form a voltage vector with parameters 1.06, 1, 1, 1. So the initialization is over. Next, I am just keeping the value over here another variable. Now I have to determine the voltages of all the buses except the slack bus. Because the slack bus voltage remains the same, there is no need to determine the voltage for it. So here I am writing the loop as for I is equal to 2 is to NB. For this, from the second bus I am going to determine the voltage. First I am finding the value of A of I. So here when you look into the voltage equation, there are 3 parts in the equation is there. The first part is Pi minus JQi divided by Vi conjugate. So that value I am finding it as A of I. Similarly, the second part I am going to find it as B of I. So here as it's a summation, so first initially I initialize B of I is equal to 0. Then I form a loop for x is equal to 1 is to I minus 1, because the second part summation varies from 1 to I minus 1. B of I is equal to B of I plus Y of I comma X into V of X. I end the loop. So by running this particular 4 steps, I will be able to obtain the value of the second part of the voltage equation. Now I am finding the value of the third part of the equation. So this value I am finding it as C of I. So C of I is equal to 0, I am assuming. Then I am forming a loop. So because we are having a summation, so for L is equal to I plus 1 to N is to NB, C of I is equal to C of I plus Y of I comma L into V of I N. So by that I find the value for C of I. Now I just sum up all the values based on the voltage equation. So according to voltage equation, V of I is equal to 1 divided by Y of I comma I into A of I minus B of I minus C of I. Now here we have to influence the value of the alpha. So I am accelerating the value by writing the equation as V of I is equal to D of I, that is your value which has been initialized, plus alpha into V of I minus D of I. Now I end the loop. Okay, so by which I will be able to determine the voltage at all the buses. At the same time, I have included the accelerated value also. So I finally give the value V so that I get the voltages of all the 4 buses. So this is a simple program for the Gauss-Seidel method for a single iteration. Thank you.